the missiles! You stop Grodd!
We've always tried to put in little shout-outs to the history of DC Comics whenever we could within the scope of our cartoons. For instance, the first time we put Batman and Superman together, our versions of Batman and Superman, we titled the episode World's Finest because that was the official DC Comics Superman-Batman team-up magazine. And the first episode of Justice League we called Secret Origins because there was a DC comic called Secret Origins where they would tell you how the heroes came to be who they were. So The Brave and the Bold, again, that was the official DC Comics team-up magazine. Every issue they would team up two different superheroes.
We wanted to do a show that focused only on two characters. I believe it was our first, that kind of outside of the pilot with Superman and Batman.
You start seeing who works together and who doesn't, who has chemistry and who doesn't, and as soon as we started, we knew Flash and the Green Lantern did.
Lose something?
I was handling it.
You got a classic unity of opposites. Green Lantern is a straight soldier, by-the-book kind of guy, and Wally's kind of a slacker who tries to do things the easy way and is kind of a pain to be around. John makes a great straight man, and a particularly great straight man for the Flash.
Would you hurry up? We're supposed to be conducting an investigation.
Can I help it if I have a hyper-accelerated metabolism? Besides, it's just a little snack.
Going back to the history of Flash and Green Lantern in the comics, they were always like the best of pals back in the comics. Of course, that was a different Flash and a different Green Lantern. And our version of Green Lantern is completely different than the one back in the day. And our Flash is different too. They have completely different personalities in the classic Flash-Green Lantern combo.
I hate to do this.
The characters' personalities lend themselves. They contrast so much that you got natural opposites.
We knew we wanted to use those two characters and that they had great chemistry together and worked like gangbusters. And it was also, kind of coincidentally, like a buddy movie.
Thanks for sticking up for me in there. Ow!
What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking anything.
Obviously.
Just in general, people tend to gravitate toward buddy movies. They like seeing two pals dealing with odds but remaining friends, you know, having their differences, but ultimately, in the end, they're still pals and comrades.
That dumb old gorilla got away.
Go ahead, rub it in.
This time, we're getting some backup. Green Lantern to Watchtower. Watchtower, come in.
I have no idea why the concept of heroes teaming up to fight crime is so appealing, but it is. This is something that goes back to the golden age of comics, you know, the first time that they actually had superheroes teaming up together. It was an instant hit.
For some reason, and I have it, most comic book fans have it, there is a tremendous appeal to seeing these characters interact and meet. You have your favorite comic book, and you're like, oh, but I like this guy too. Wouldn't it be cool if they could get together?
Well, I think you want to see the characters together. I mean, when you're kids, you have the arguments about who would win and who's cooler, and it's just an extension of that idea.
My name is Solivar. I'm chief of security for Gorilla City.
Gorilla City? You've got to be kidding.
Gorilla City's just nuts. It's a hidden city of super intelligent gorillas. They have science superior to ours. Grodd is a conqueror who's come to our world to blow up his world and is being chased by a cop from his world. It's just crazy. It's great.
Gorillas, you know, you gotta love them. You know, it's like intelligent mad scientist gorillas is, again, it's an old school DC Comics trope. You know, there was a period of time when, you know, literally almost every other issue of a DC comic would have a giant gorilla on the cover because they thought that, you know, kids liked gorillas. That for some reason they'd look at the sales figures and say, oh, hey, look, you know, every time we have a gorilla on the cover, you know, we sell an extra 20,000 copies. So they've had gorillas everywhere.
Missile number 2 deactivated.
It's over, Grodd.
No! I won't lose to the likes of you!
Guess who?
What?
Nobody could be more annoying to Grodd than Flash.
You want a piece of me, Chuckles? Come on.
And another thing that was really fun in this was we got to see that Flash was a little bit smarter than people thought he was at that point in the show.
Not bad, huh? I outsmarted a super genius.
Guess you're not as dumb as you look.
The sequence where the Flash gets shot by the hypnotic beam and has a little fantasy where he becomes fat and turns into a puppet and sees mirror images of himself. All those images are from old Flash comics.
The bit with Gorilla Grodd in a Flash costume, that actually didn't happen on the cover, but it was based on a Halloween costume that I had done years ago. So that was actually me. And Bruce actually had that put in the script because he remembered that Halloween party. We actually did the Flash origin in that dream sequence. Even though we know it's Wally West, Barry Allen and Wally had the same exact origin, so it worked either way.
It's coming this way!
We did this little throwaway bit in Brave and the Bold where it was literally like at the 11th hour, I was looking at the storyboard with Dan Riba, the director, and we got to the end sequence where Batman was trying to save Wonder Woman from underneath the missile, and he's digging through the rubble trying to find Wonder Woman, and then, you know, she comes out and she's all safe and sound. And I just thought it would be kind of neat if we had this little bit where, you know, she looks over to him and sees that his hands are all burned from digging through the smoking rubble. You know, it's like, oh, you tried to save me. That was really sweet. And she leans over and gives him a little peck on the cheek. And it was just a cute little bit. That's all it was, right? But the minute that show aired, the internet was all abuzz. It's like, you know, oh, wow, there's something going on between Batman and Wonder Woman. It's like, what's this all about? And it's just like, come on, there's nothing going on between Batman and Wonder Woman. It's like, what are you guys talking about? It was just a little throwaway bit. It was just a little bit. It was just cute, you know? And then we started thinking about it, and it's like, well, okay, maybe there isn't anything going on between Batman and Wonder Woman now, but it might be kind of fun to explore it.
The shows are filled with little in-jokes, and, you know, we forget because we're in the middle of it, and we're just going to throw the stuff in, and then they get on the air, and then when they come back, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what that's about.
To come up with a story that's worthy of these characters. They're all so powerful, they're all so iconic. You know, any one of them can handle just about any situation. Anytime you come up with a story that's worth the time of any two of them, it's a pretty big story.
This is the Watchtower calling. Please come in.